but he stopped again. And when he got out, he looked angry. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the 24th of June and it's now almost 2 o'clock somehow. We've been waiting for the sun to come out all day pretty much. We've had the odd sunny spell, but it hasn't really done much and it's been quite frustrating. We've got 20 hectares of hay on the ground. Yesterday Dad headed out both of them. One of them we did once for the first time and the other one we've done for the second time. He is now back out tedding one of them for the third time, just trying to speed the process up. They've now put rain in the forecast for not too long and we just need to get in the shed basically. So I'm now going to put the rake on the big tractor and go, and so when it's ready we'll just go and crack on and rake it up and hopefully we can start baling this afternoon. By tedding it, we're just hoping to get a bit of air into it and actually maybe get it to make a little bit. Got to try and find a block of wood to put the trailer on, as I can't remember where the block of wood was before. Here is the Baler and Barron combine. That is the hay from last week. We baled that on Sunday. As you can see here, as the baler was here and the combine was there, Dad went and took hay straight out the middle. We've already got rid of, what's that, 9 packs have gone already. 9 packs gone already. Took 4 out this morning to the local customer and another 4 packs went out yesterday to the local company that takes it. I've got to find a block of wood. Just remember where I put it, in the front box. Whilst I'm here, I'm just going to show you these beans. They are really, really impressive. We drilled these right at the end of October, and if we're honest, I don't really think they're going to grow very much. Had fairly shocking conditions after, but now they're all 4 foot, 5 foot tall. Quite impressive. Some of them are 6 foot, and they're well over my head. They've all got an incredible amount of pods on them. Nice big pods. So hopefully now with a bit of sunshine they're going to fill out really nicely. Hopefully going to have a decent crop. Got a bit of dodgy patches on the headlands, but for the majority of it, it's a really nice crop. So I got the rake on, and I'm just waiting for him to get done. And whilst I'm waiting, I'm going to give this a bit of a wash. It's got really, really dusty, you can probably see. Last week when we were baling, when we were just finishing off, there's really little poxy rain shower that came over. Didn't even have it come to anything. But as it's quite dusty, it all stuck because it got wet. So yeah, I'm just gonna give it a quick wash off. We've just come down to the field and we're gonna see if we can, how close it is to being able to row it up. Dad's only got a few more ends left now. So once he's done, we'll have a proper look and see if we can row it up. One good sign is that he's got a lot of hay on the top of the tedder, which means that it's dry. There's a bit of dust as well, which is good, so it's nice. So the biggest problem we've had today is actually the humidity. As there's a lot of cloud, the sun hasn't really been able to get out very much, and it's very humid, which means the hay hasn't actually dried down very much. It's getting there. If we actually had an hour of sunshine, I think it would go, but it's just getting that hour of sunshine because it's just cloud, and it's all coming from the west across the country, and there's a little bit of blue sky, but then it's cloud again. So as there's a bit of a breeze, it's blowing really hard, so there's a lot of cloud coming over. But as there's a bit of a breeze, it's actually drying it out a little bit. What we do to test, see whether it's nearly there or not, is we get a bit in our hands and then get put your two hands together and rub it round, and then if it comes apart, within like 3 or 4 sort of going round, bit of a guessing way of doing it, but if it then breaks apart, you know it's fairly much there. And then when you put the baler into it, we want it under 14% moisture. So we've got a moisture meter on our baler, so as the bale goes past the moisture meter, it then brings up a moisture. Cover crop that I drilled on Monday, and quite a lot of it's already up. I'll just flip the camera. Look really closely. Little rows there. So there is a mixture of, I think it's radish, there's a bit of linseed. There's lots and lots emerging. I need to get the camera in the right place. There's lots and little ones that are just not too far behind. We were going to roll this, but then we were told we were going to have some rain, and then the rain never came. But it's nicely up. Now we're just waiting for the triticale, and the wheat won't be too far behind. And there's also a bit of barley in here. It won't be too far behind. But as it's been so warm, it's come up really, really quickly. This is, I think that's a little linseed. Hopefully we don't have too much of a problem with flea beetle. Just remember, this one's actually more mix. So in here there is kale, radish, some rape. I can't remember whether there is linseed in here, but there's also that. Those little plants are actually probably chicory, so that'll grow nicely. So there's no wheat or triticale in here. I'm an idiot. That's the other ones, but they're really nicely coming up. We have a change of plan. We have had no sun for the good hour now. Phone's going flat. No sun for a good hour or so. But I'm on to the next field over, and it's gone quite flat. We've teared it out once yesterday, but now we're just moving it around the second time to try and get the green stuff that's on the bottom back on the top. So when the sun does come out, we can then it'll then dry out. We're hoping to be able to get on here sort of tomorrow afternoon after we've baled that one and then done a little bit of contract baling, but we're not really sure how it's going to go because the weather is playing ball. It's getting there. That other field is close. We might be able to go later. So if we have a little bit of sun and it clears out, we might see if we can get a couple of hours in. But if we don't, we don't. But ideally, it would be nice. We're hoping to be able to get the headlands off tonight. But I'm now on this other field. Nice stuff, but we should do with some sun and a bit less humidity, but be what I'll be, I guess. Now just past 5, and Dad just been to look at the hay across the hedge, and he says he's going to go give it a go. So I've got one more end left on here, and then I'm going to go hop in the other tractor and go and start raking. He will swap over the tedder and put the baler on. So in about sort of half an hour's time or so, we're going to be baling, hopefully. Yeah, so stay tuned for that. Another instance where I really love auto track I started on this hedge, when I went around the headland, I set my track on this hedge. This is the only straight hedge on this field. I then started on the other side of the field. I've then come all the way across the field and done however many ends, I've no idea how many ends. And now I've come back across the field and I'm doing my last end in exactly right. It literally exactly right on both sides. The tether is 7.6 metres and I've come all the way across the field and 7.6 metres and it's perfectly right. So I've got to say it is very good. +6. Of course everything takes longer than it should do, or longer than you think it should. I'm now raking up. We've done the hand test and it's breaking apart fairly easily, so hopefully it's going to be right. Dad is set in the field. I mean, you can see it on the camera. He's set in the field as well. I'm going to do the headlands for now. Oh my god, these rows are huge. I might have to knock the rake down a little bit, but for the first time around the headland I can't really knock it down because I can't get any further over there. He will be going very slowly. They're kind of taking a little while, which is good because it means there's a lot of bales. But the other thing is we're going to be getting it under the tractor, but that's why we've got the flex plate. Yeah, crack on. Wrong where we're going. Moisture is between 10%, and then there's the odd bit that goes, I think 17% or 18%. But part of that I think is because it's the first time around the headland and the rake has brought in a little bit of green stuff off the hedge. That's what we're hoping anyway. Hopefully when we get into the field where it's had a little bit more wind and it's much better, hopefully, oh that's close, it's very close, hopefully it'll be alright. Off one end he's got 5 packs. And he's already baled 1, 2, 3, 8, 9. He's done 11 packs already, and he's only 3/4, well, not even 3/4 of the way around one headland. I've put the rake down to 5 metres. It's a 6.5 metre rake, but I just overlap one of the rotors on the previous work, so then it brings in, the swath isn't half as big basically. This is going to be close again. That is what you call close. I'm now relying on the baler man to keep in straight line. So we want the hay between anything under 14% moisture basically. So anything over that is getting a bit close. We do put a preservative on it, an acid. It's the same sort of acid that is in a horse's gut. It acts as a preservative. We spray it on all the bales. So we spray it on in the pickup of the baler. Put it on at 2 litres a 2 litres a tonne? Yeah, 2 litres a tonne. So it's very strong stuff. You don't want to inhale it, it's not very nice. And it's perfectly safe for horses to eat and everything, so this one looks extra close. We put that on it, so it does mean you can bale it slightly wetter, but ideally we want it as low as we can. Despite me knocking the width right down, it's probably not quite 5 metres yet because I've had to keep to the left a little bit, otherwise I'll end up hitting his pack. So once I get past him I'll get it about right. But even though I've knocked it down and I'm only taking half a rotor on that side, those swaths are still enormous. I didn't expect them to be that much on here. Obviously glad there is. Once we get into the field I think it'll be slightly thinner because the headland was very thick. No idea why, but it was. Looks like Dad is on top, he's got a little bit of a problem. I might have to stop when I get close to him. It's probably a knot on this tide on the barren. There's a couple of things on the knotter that just tweak ever so slightly. And if it doesn't hold this twine in the knot for long enough, it then doesn't tie it properly. It's quite confusing. Knotters are confusing things. Yeah, I might have to stop and have a look at it. Keeping it nice and close. Yeah, so when I go, I'll run that rotor is going to run almost up against that other row, which will make the rows a lot smaller. It wasn't actually a mist tie. It told it was a mist tie, but it wasn't. But then when he went and had a look at it, the string has managed to get in the completely wrong place. But I think he's sorted it now, but he stopped again. And when he got out, he looked angry. Assuming it's broken a bail or done something, I'm not quite sure. I might go around and have a look. He's standing there looking at it, so I don't think he's going to be very impressed with whatever's happened. I'm sure I'll get a phone call in a minute telling me to go up there and have a look. I might just give him a ring. From what I've gathered, we had to put quite a lot of pressure on for some unknown reason. I think it's got a little bit of an airlock in its system, and the baler hadn't got its pressure up correctly, so it was chucking out quite a lot of really small bales, light bales, for some unknown reason. So he turned the pressure right up, and now the pressure suddenly decided to kick in, and then it's jammed itself up basically. It hasn't sheared a shear bowl, which is what it normally does, but he's blocked it up because it's got so much pressure on it. And just to add to it, he's got a pack hanging out the back, so we can't reverse up out of the way. So I've just gone up the field, back up the other way again, and I'll go and have a look and help him. We've got the deflator display at the front, which pushes it under the tractor. Pick up on the baler, put it in. There's acid in, there's nozzles in there spraying acid on. Chamber which is jammed in, and then baler knots it, and that is the acid tank. The packer, there's a round table on the packer, and then so the bales go round on the table, and then they get pushed into the chamber of the packer. They go 3 high, and then it's got a plunger on it which then pushes them back, just like a baler it would. So it pushes back 7 long, and then it knots them after. So it's 3 high, 7 long, so 21 bale packs. There you go, here it's knotting. It's very dramatic when it knots. Hit the doors on the back, then put pressure on, so it creates a really, really tight pack basically. So then we can pick them up with bale spikes and stack them in the barn. Actually, the weather did the same thing yesterday. But after about 6 o'clock, suddenly it's brightened up. Last hour or so, we've actually had quite a lot of sun, which actually meant that we've been able to get going. So now it's actually drier. I think he's getting on better now. It's nice, I can actually see some blue sky for once today. It was really nice this morning, about 7:30, when we took the hay out. But then through the day it was all mostly cloudy. And now it's actually been quite sunny for a bit. Almost haven't noticed it, because we've been trying to sort the baler out. But so far this season, baler hasn't missed a beat, but it's just the pump has done something. We actually had to put a little bit more oil in it because I think the seal has slightly gone on the ram on the back. So I think by doing that, we actually ended up getting a bit of air in the system, which meant that it did what it did. It's one of those things. It's all right now. He seems to be getting on all right. So I'll do these headlands, and then I'll probably come and chase the packs up and put them in the cornfield. I'll leave them out tonight. There's no point trying to put them in the barn because we might keep them just to one side because we're not sure what they're going to be like. As usual, it hasn't gone to plan. It's all along that end. This way he's started his second end along the headland, and all along the end it's been around 16% moisture, and it's been up to like 20, 25. We don't want that. He could very soon bail it. He'd end up with a whole load of wet stuff in the shed, and it's going to be near the back, and we don't really want that. It's now folded up and just about to head back to the yard. The biggest problem today has just been the humidity. So it's ended up hardly making. which is really, really frustrating. If the humidity had been 10-15% lower, I think it's been around 60 to 70% today. If it had been lower, we'd have been fine and we'd have got on with it. But as it's been high, we haven't been able to get on. As soon as it's under 60% humidity, we can pretty much go. But as it's been over that, it's meant it hasn't really dried out enough, and it's been too wet, unfortunately. So we've got quite a lot of baling to do, and that little bit of contract baling. So hopefully, if the weather forecast says what it's going to do, well, sorry, if the weather does what the weather forecast is going to do, tomorrow we're going to have a good day. But if it does what it's done today, we won't have a very good day. Hopefully, it does its bit, and it says it's going to be about 45% humidity. If it's like that, it's go time. So, fingers crossed, that's what happens. But if that doesn't happen, then we're in a little bit of a muddle. It is going to rain on Tuesday, chance of rain on Tuesday. Monday's okay, but cloudy, so it could be like this again, and cooler, which, God knows. I guess we'll see how it goes. Yeah, the video today has actually gone a lot longer than I thought it was going to, so I think I'm going to end it here, and I'll start a new one tomorrow. So tomorrow being Sunday. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Please stay tuned for the next one.